Red flags, green flags. Trust, what it is and what it does. This is my own definition of what it is and what it does. This isn't what it says in the dictionary, but this is what I see. Trust, what is it? It's a gatekeeper to the life and death of relationships and a gauge to faith. What's it do? It governs the growth of developing relationship quality of love's attributes. That's trust. Let's look at some red flags. These cards here, I think I've got like 8 of these red flags or something like that, and maybe a dozen of these green flags. But anyways, I've been working on this project for quite a while, about 2 years, something like that. But anyways, you had a few hundred or so red flags, and about 300 green flags, something like that. I don't know the exact number, but those estimations are pretty close. But anyways, I thought I'd simplify it down. So I sat down the other day for a couple, 3 hours, and said if I had to choose 2 off of each page that were the most important, and just went through each page and picked out a couple off of each page for the red flags and the green flags, and voila, this is what came about right here. So let's take a look-see, shall we? Since we don't want to go through each and every single little red flag of 200 something little details and 300 little details of green flags. These cover more of the bases. This is more of the fundamentals right here. So let's take a look at them. Let's take a look at the red flags first. Let's shuffle them up so they're not in order. So a couple of these red flags is what they are. Is a couple of them are instantaneous death to a relationship. It's definitely stop. Do not proceed any further. No go. No erasing. No do-overs. And then the other ones is the next level of that. Very close to that is, let's just go through them and I'll show you. And a similar thing with the green flags. There's a couple in here. So like if you see there's 2 of these in here that if those things are present, you know you got yourself a serious friend. And then there's probably about 7 or 8 of those things that's like, you know you got a really good friend. Then there's a couple in there that's like, yeah, maybe there's something that can be built. It requires further inspection. So that's what those are, and that's what these are. Let's take a look at them. Okay, here's a no-go. And it's kind of ironic too, inability to compromise and find middle ground. That's a no-go right there. But you know, a person would say, like, on what? You know, I mean, because so many issues, it's like no one meets eye to eye on everything. It's like, and even the relationship experts say it's something like 60 to 70% of disagreements are just things that will never be resolved and don't really need to be. They're just little things. But anyways, this is more pertaining to values, beliefs, goals, long-term goals, short-term goals, mission, purpose. All right, here's another one. Here's a kicker. You're gonna like this one. Not attentive to what you're saying, disregards how you feel, turns to talk to someone else while you're still talking, lack of connecting. You see that? That's a massive red flag right there. That red flag right there, usually it seems like if that's present, you're dealing with somebody who's probably indulging in substance abuse of some kind. Or they just may be that kind of person to where they're screwed up and they're flighty. Myself, I won't deal with it. I won't put up with it. I will not. It doesn't matter who it is. Now, if it's a child, doing that, yeah, I expect that kind of attention span from a child. My grandbaby is exempt from this. She's 1, okay? And here's instantaneous death, drug usage, alcohol abuse, cigarettes, anything like that. Instantaneous no-go, no do-overs, no tries, do not go any further. This is another red flag. This is an this next one I'm getting ready to read. That's like a person can have everything, all A plus in all other areas, but this one thing right here, I know for a fact it would cause problems if I let them too close. It's like this, what I'm about to read. They can become a decent friend, but they'll never be what I call a true friend. Doesn't matter, man, woman, work, whatever. And you'll see it as soon as I read it. Differing religious beliefs. Thinks that there is one master religion above all others. See, I don't do that. I believe in the spirit of the universe. I believe the spirit of the universe is expressed in many different kinds of religions throughout the world that fit different bloodlines and cultures and stuff. But to think that there's one master religion, that's a no-go right there. That's wartime, buddy. All right, here's another one. Different long-term goals. Different long-term goals. It's like if a person is on a set mission. Now, if this is a woman, a prospect for a lover or potential mate, this is no-go. That can't work. But as for friends, you can have a damn good friend, real good friend, true friends, and but you're not going to be with that person. You can have different long-term goals. And what I mean by long-term goals is the kind of goals and the mission and purpose in life they have, assuming they do. If they're not if they're not similar enough to my mission and purpose, they're not going to mutually support each other. It's not. It's like when goals and missions and purposes are similar to one another, it's like the stuff I'm naturally doing to guard my stuff will naturally guard the other person's stuff too, because their mission and purpose is very similar also, and the stuff they're doing will also guard and protect mine. See how it makes like that synergy thing? So that's why that's a huge red flag right there for a potential partner. That I've actually got that labeled as instant death because it is instant death, no go, no do-over. Let's look at another one. This is another one. This is an absolute instant death to it right there. It's like as soon as I see this, any at all, it's done. I mean, it's just straight up walk away, no explanation, just completely disappear immediately. Dishonesty, lies, secretive, instant death of trust, no do-overs, no go. See that? I won't even allow that in people. Now, if you're a child, you might be excused here and there, but you're going to be corrected sternly. And this one here, this one is a massive red flag. It's very similar to the other one, but I went ahead and wrote it anyway. It's just basically the same thing, just differently. And this is ignores their partner's bids for attention. That's like, say if my girlfriend walked in the room and I was sitting there reading a book or something and just got off work or whatever, and walks in, shuts the door, and is like, and lets out a big sigh, and I say absolutely nothing, that would be a massive red flag. That should never happen, ever. If you honestly love the person, if there's any true love whatsoever, I don't care if it's a friend, I don't care if it's your brother, your sister, your cousin, or whatever, to ignore their bids for attention, it's a no-go. And it's like, am I guilty of it? Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of people I ignore. I ignore their bids for attention. There's plenty of people that try more than enough to get my attention, but I don't love them. And I can say it. Sad but true. Here's another one. Holds the other in contempt, looks down on the other. See, with that kind of characteristic right there, that's a massive red flag. And that's kind of that's a sign of an emotional immaturity. And that's a huge red flag right there. I mean, that right there, for it to be anybody, it doesn't have to be a potential lover. It could be a man or a work person or something. If they have that, or even in myself, if I have that, see, because I'm actually looking out for this in myself all the time, like literally daily, because I used to have this a lot. And this is a deadly toxic seed that grows. If a person allows themselves to have this, if they allow themselves to look down on someone, even if they deserve to be looked down on, don't do it. So that's a huge red flag right there. That's massive. And here's another one right here. This is another sign you're walking into bad territory. This lets you know you're going into a bad neighborhood. Disregards partner's interests. That's when you know right there. That's a massive red flag right there. You see that? It's time to do not connect. Keep it extremely superficial and run. Leave as quickly as possible. And here's my number one that's above everything, that will shut me off quicker than anything. This is an absolute deal breaker, no go, no races do over. Disinterest in personal growth and development. That's like someone who has no desire to improve on themselves whatsoever. Can't talk about any conversations about growth and development or learning or anything. Has nothing actively going on. And this, I used to get fooled in the past because I didn't really have much going on other than just working and paying bills. It's too easy to get caught up with people and think you have stuff in common just because you have paying bills in common and nothing else, because they have a pulse and I have a pulse. Not cool. No. Anyways. Yeah, well, to talk a little bit more about these red flags, like in me, I know I'm not the man that I want and need to be. And I know I got work to go to be what I consider to be up to par. I know I'm definitely in the right direction. That's for goddamn sure. But it's like, to me, when it comes to relationships, when you're talking about friends or lovers or whatever, you're paying full price. You're paying full price. It's like going on a car lot and paying full. It's like all the cars are there and they all have full price on them. It's like you can have a used one that's breaking down and busted, or a new one that's really good for full price. But either way, you're still paying full price. That's how relationships are. It's like you're going to pay full price. So make sure it's up to par. If you're up to par, see, that's one of the main reasons why I'm single right here and right now, and have been for over 5 years, coming on 6 years actually. And I'll keep it another year or two until I get some other knots untangled. All right, let's get rid of all the doom and gloom and take a look at some green flags. This is a massively great green flag right here. Dang it, it's 15 minutes. We're going to go over. So, mutual respect for each other's boundaries and limits. See that right there, that quality of, see that consistently over and over and over and over. You know you got yourself a high quality friend. Let's shuffle these to make it a little more interesting. Because I went through them several times the past few days, so I want to make it a little more spontaneous. All right. Having each other's back. That only comes with time. You see somebody's consistency over a period of year, and you have their back, and they have yours in various ways. And to me, it's like in little things. To me, I read a lot into little things because I honestly believe if a person can be trusted with a little bit, they can be trusted with a lot. That's like if I know you're straight up to where I would trust you with the keys to the door, then I know I could trust you in a lot of other ways. But yeah, that's going to take some serious doing for me to trust you with the key. But this is the big kahuna right here. It's like if you find this green flag, it's like you're home. You made it home. It's like, that's it. You found your true love. You find that. I've never seen it personally. To me, it's like freaking Bigfoot. It's like, it's there, and there's people that say it exists and stuff, and people have foot castings and say they've heard sounds out in the woods, and they got some blurry pictures that might be Bigfoot. That's how true love is to me. And this is trusting each other implicitly. I've never seen that. Not in the environments I've been around in all my life. Most of my life, until these past couple of years. It's really changed these past couple of years, so let's correct that right there. All right. Commitment expressed through action to personal and relationship growth. See that, through action, not words. That's like it's like, what's a person already doing? What have they been doing the past year? What have they been doing the past 2 years, or a couple years, or 5 years? That's like, say, if I've been working out and exercising a lot for a while, a couple years or so, very steady, and say I got with someone, they're like, oh yeah, I love working out. Yeah, I like to go to the gym and stuff, but they never go, and they're just telling you that, but they don't want to, and they're only doing it just to try to make the relationship work. See, things like that. I mean, it's so common for we all do it. We all do it. We all try to put our best foot forward to make things work, and we get caught up in our maximizing the truth or minimizing the truth to make shit work. Not cool. Not cool. And that's exactly why it always helps to have good friends to give you some constructive criticism / feedback of what you're doing. I'd be like, dude, are you really wanting to do that? Is that what you're really wanting to sign up for? Here's another one. Spending quality time together. See, that's a good one right there. See, to me, quality time requires a certain atmosphere and environment to foster a deep connection, psychologically, intellectually, to connect heart and mind. And really, because when it comes to men and women, let's face it, we're wired differently. It's not so easy to connect, especially nowadays with so many distractions. So that's a massive green flag right there. If that seems to be important to the other person, that's a key right there. That's not a red flag. That's like a deal maker. There are I think 2 deal makers in this cards things. I don't think I'll point them out to you because those are my versions of the deal makers. And this is a massive green flag. I mean, this has go, move forward. Conflict resolution without blame. See, to me, it's like there's the four deadly horsemen. There's fault finding, there's blame, and there's guilt and shame. There's just so many people's relationships out there that function on fault finding, blaming, guilt, shame. And when I say relationships, I'm not just talking about men and women and husband and wife and all that stuff. I'm talking about like work relationships, business relationships. It's just so uncalled for. It's just so animalistic. It's so tyrannistic. It's such a slave and slave master style relationship. It sucks. All right, moving right along. This is another happy green flag right here. Encouragement of individuality. See, because if a person starts losing themselves, especially if a person has had issues where they've had a lifelong issue or issues of being a people pleaser or standing up for themselves or codependency or anything like that, if they don't have those things ironed out, and even if they do have those things ironed out, it can be easy to fall back into those, get stuck in those ruts again, you know. So that right there, that's a massive green flag right there. That's a good one. And this is a truly great green flag. It's like if you see this in anyone, you make sure that you let that person know that you do care for them and that you do like them. They bring out the best. They bring out the best in you. They bring out the best in each other. See, that's for everyone, anyone. And no, that doesn't necessarily mean being nice to each other all the time. No, a person can be pretty salty and be riding a real fine line of being rude and too salty to where they're bitter, but yet they can still bring out the best in you. There's people like that. So here's some more. This is a massive green flag to me. This isn't about just friends or work colleagues. This is for a lover. This is for a romantic relationship. And this is just a term. They're my partner in crime, an adventure buddy. It's like when you know that it's like they have all the other green flags and it all adds up to that right there. They're your partner in crime. You know they got your back. They know you trust them implicitly. When that level is reached right there. And you know, I don't know how that level happens, but I actually, from what I see right now and what I've studied, and I've been studying these relationship things for quite a while now. From what I see, when you get all the green flags in place and the right kinds of environments for the right things, for the right reasons, man, it's like a garden. It will grow and bloom quickly and bear fruit. Yeah. So it's like, get ready. So here's another one. And this is an absolute must right here. And this can be tricky in men and women. And not just for lovers and stuff, but just everybody and anybody. Ability to express your needs and desires openly. So, work situations. I think for me, a simplified method there is, if it goes against what you believe is what's right and wrong. See, that's where the fine line is in between being flexible or being good at compromising. If any of those things require that you go against your morals of what you know is right and wrong, then boom. Then see, this shouldn't even have to be here, but it does. Anyways, moving right along. ability to compromise without sacrificing one's own needs. See, there it is again. It's the same thing written just a little bit differently. It's kind of a little redundancy there. That's kind of my own little pet peeve there. So anyways, moving right along. And this one, this is a major. And this is for anybody. And this seems like as soon as I read it, you're probably going to think, well, duh. But no, not duh, because the way society is nowadays, so many relationships are just so superficial. I mean, just barely surface level. And I see that a lot. Could be the environment I've been in. Shoot, maybe it's just me. I don't know, but I kind of doubt it. Anyways, because I do a lot of people watching and I study people too, and I study relationships. Yes, I'm a stalker. All right. Genuine interest in each other's well-being. Respect of each other's space and time. See that right there? That's to me, that's one of the deal makers right there. That is a deal maker. But also, it's only a deal maker if the person's long-term goals and their dreams, their dream life, and their mission and purpose, their chosen mission and purpose for themselves, not for where they work or whatever, but no, I mean their personal mission and purpose. See, a lot of people go their whole lives and they don't have a mission and purpose. See, some people do in their religion and stuff, and I respect that. And but there's different areas that they have of their mission and purpose, and their ways of expressing that. And like my mission and purpose is pretty simple. My mission basically is, in the most simplified generic terms, is to find out exactly, precisely the things that cause failure in the human psyche and state them clearly for the world to see. And my purpose is to develop some solutions for those things so that nobody has to be trapped in like ego in a life of hopelessness and poverty. And that's probably why I study so much of the forgiveness and reconciliation and stuff like that, because I've seen it too many times. Too many people get caught up in those psychological traps, and I've been caught in it for years myself. And you be around people like that, you'll get, that builds a synergy. It really does. I used to honestly believe that it didn't matter who you were around, and that if it was your family or whatever, you got to have unconditional love for them, and you definitely don't want to abandon them and stuff. But you know what? When it comes down to it, you got red flags. It ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work. You got green flags? It's showtime. Straight up. Anyways, we went well over 15 minutes. And that concludes trust. We'll read this off again. So the call to action on this video is you know, how do I feel about trust? I mean, how well do I trust myself? Do I have implicit trust for myself? And also, in what areas do I trust myself so much? In what areas do I not trust myself so much? In what areas in my life do I need to work on that trust to build it up to the kind of trust to where it's like an implicit trust, where it's just over the top, and I can totally rely on myself kind of trust. See, because that's the goal, to build up the mind, the heart, the body, spirit, all that running together to where a person can fully trust themselves. Because I honestly believe these red flags and green flags, to me, it's like this stuff, this research is all on me, to me. It's like looking for the red flags in me, identifying the red flags in me, looking for the green flags in me, identifying the green flags in me, building my trust with me. Because at the end of the day, if a person doesn't trust themselves in enough areas in their life, then they're just going to go from shitty relationship to the next shitty relationship to the next really shitty relationship, and they'll be stuck in a bunch of, and that's what they'll gravitate to, and that's what they'll attract to them, because of their boundaries and their standards are just too low. Because without trust, because see, trust is a gatekeeper to love. It really is a gatekeeper to true love. And when I use that term true love, I'm not just talking about just romantic relationships. I'm talking about true love of friendships and brotherhood, sisterhood, and stuff like that. And so there it is. That's where it's at. Have a good one. See you in the funny papers.